Hello and welcome to 3DHP everybody. My name is Jerry and today I want to print something really cool from Sanix's website, Malik's 3D Design. And let's see what we got here. I'm thinking about Thor. This Thor looks very, very cool. And that's a render there, but he's got the eye patch. And I believe he has it with or without the eye patch. And it's pre-supported for Light Cheat or Cheetah Box. Or you can get it a third option where it's not supported, as if you're going to print FDM. That'll be my option that I'm going to go with. And let me jump in the slicer, get this sliced up, and I'll show you some pictures and we'll get going here. This is going to be really cool. I think I'm going to do it about 150%, make it a little bit bigger. It's an awesome model. Let's see how they came out. And something I got called out on in my last video, somebody made a comment, always wear your gloves. Yes, practice what I preach. Always wear your gloves with proper safety equipment and have proper ventilation. But usually when I'm removing the prints, I'm not coming in direct contact with my resin, but just for safety's sake, let's go ahead and wear them to be sure. Let's see what we got here. Came out really good. I blended had a little bit of red wax left over and I blended some black and some gray in it. And everything came out perfect on the focus resin. Very cool. So let's get it cleaned up. And as I said in my last video, I typically would always put everything in my sonic cleaner. I would strip all my supports first. I'd put it in the sonic cleaner with mean green, pre-wash it really good, and then I would come over here to my wash and cure station and then I'd wash it. But my IPA is getting very old. It's time to change it. I've strained it, but yeah, it's pretty bad. So once I get it replaced, then I'll go ahead and go back to my old process. I'll pre-rinse everything and try to get off all the excess resin before I go to my IPA. And the way I'm doing it now, attached to the build plate, once that's been going for 10 minutes, I'll take it out, I'll pop them off, I'll strip the supports, I'll put them back in the IPA, I'll flush them really super good, shake out all the excess. I'll take them out in the garage with my air compressor and I'll blow out all the parts really good, like these three here. I'll completely dry them 100% on the inside before I cure them, because you want your parts to be dry. And then once you put them in your cure station, be sure you cure both sides, because even though it has a reflective surface on that clear plate, it still may not get cured all the way. So cure them on both sides. Then I'll take my little portable UV light, and wherever I have holes on hollowed prints, most of the time I try to cure them on the inside just to make sure they're completely cured. You know, not all my prints I've done that, but I do it whenever possible. So that's just a few tips here on how, you know, I do things. And here's another tip I have. After I've completely cleaned out my vat with my little tiny yellow spatula that came with the resin printer, I will use spray away glass cleaner. Spray away glass cleaner, it's foaming action, it works really good. Rather than using IPA, I'll spray up any resin spills, messes, my spatulas, everything with spray away glass cleaner. You can buy it pretty much anywhere. And then I use blue shop towels. They're a lot softer than using paper towels, and I use blue shop towels. I buy these by the case off Amazon, and I use blue shop towels to clean up everything. Once I've completely cleaned out my vat, I take a little bit of Rain-X, put a little bit of Rain-X in it in the vat, completely wipe it around, wipe the bottom, wipe the top, and then I'm good to go for pouring in my next resin for whatever I'm printing. It helps to reduce the popping action that you have on your print. Doesn't stop it, greatly helps to improve it. A lot of people ask me, what have I used? And they thank me left and right about, thank you, it works so great. I know some people that don't believe in it and they don't think it works. In my opinion, it works great. When I originally had my Elegoo Mars, I used to use PTFE lube on the very small build plate, and that worked for me. Once I went to a mid-sized resin printer, This was like magic. So that's just another tip I wanted to add. Alrighty, now we got Thor all done. Let's go ahead and I've done a little minor sanding on it. Looks like all the parts are going to fit together okay. So let's go ahead and start doing some gluing. Now I'm not going to glue him to the base because I'm going to have to prime everything and paint it first, and then he can be glued after he's all done and make it a lot simpler. More than likely. So I use 2P10. It's a super glue basically. And then I have a spray activator I'll spray afterwards. So actually, let me glue the top side. Put a nice amount around there, put some on the key. And I'll simply hold it together, bottom half. Grab my spray activator right here. And then carefully shoot the crack. And it'll soak in and bond it almost instantly. Now another way you can do it is you can put activator on one half, super glue on the other, but the minute you put it together it's going to set and be bonded. So if it's slightly off you can't move it. So it's best to super glue it, hold it in place, and then spray it with activator. So that's good to go. Now let's check out his arms here. His arm's going to fit right, so we'll do the same. And super glue on it. Put it in place where it goes. Hold it nice and tight. And simply spray it. And that side's done. Once I cleaned these completely with IPA, I took them out in the garage. I blew them out with my air compressor because they are hollowed. Got them completely dry. And then I cured them. Once I was done curing them, I took my UV light because I put 5mm holes in this body because this wasn't a pre-supported. Sanix has Thor pre-supported for lychee, cheetah box, and then just regular FDM. I took the regular files that weren't pre-supported. I scaled him up from 100% to 150%, making him much taller. Then I supported it, hollowed it, and put the holes in it, 5mm holes. That way my light, I have a light here if I can find it, I'll show you. I got this little light here, it's a battery pack. It's got a little UV light there on the end. I'll stick that inside the part, or the hole, wherever it may be, and then I can help to cure the inside of it in different various holes. And I don't do that every time, but I do that whenever possible. And then of course his axe here, that is printed solid. And the cape of course is printed solid. Okay, and then here's his head. There he has two files, one with the patch, one without. Rather than printing both, since I'm going to glue it, I just went ahead and printed out the one I like better with the patch. And this head has been hollowed. I have two drain holes there, that way the IPA can flow out of it easily and I can rinse it out really good. And then I stuck my UV light in there and I cured it real good. And whenever I put these in my curing station from Anycubic, I always cure both sides of the model. Even though you're on the clear plastic turntable and you might get some reflection, I always cure both sides. So I start off with like 10 minutes on one side, and then I flip them over and do like 5 or 6 minutes on the other side. And then if something should ever be too big for the curing station, I can set up another UV light that I have, or I can take them outside and put them in a chair in the sun. So just a liberal amount of glue on this part. And put that down in place. Hold that real good, and once again, oops, that's my flood activator. Spray the activator. So, you don't need to spray so much, I kind of get carried away. It's just over time, but yeah, he's looking pretty awesome there. Pretty nice indeed. And then he will simply stand on his base. Because like I said, I've got to get everything glued up. And I can come back and glue into it after I paint it. And then his cape will go on his shoulder. Let's see. I can line that up and show you here. And then with his cape on, I'm going to leave the cape off for now also, that way I can paint him up completely. Then I can always add the cape, but yeah, it looks real good with the cape on. Very nice. And let's see, how tall is he going to be with and without the base. Grab my tape measure here. And he appears to be about 11 inches tall without the base. Set him on the base, and he's about 13.5 inches tall on the base. And that's printing him at 150% scale. And that's a real nice size model. It's a nice size. It's not too big, not too little. Kind of like a G.I. Joe from back in the day. But yeah, nice size. The detail is just amazing on this model. Sanek's doing some awesome work here. Very good. Excellent work. So, and that was printed with my Focus red wax resin, the pants, the head. And I had to reprint the chest, because I printed out the chest the first time and I had a crack right up here underneath his chin, basically, in the top of the suit where his neckline is, and it was cracked. And before I cured it, I pressed down on that area, and then the whole neck piece where the head goes on completely blew into the model, basically broke out on me. So I had a little bit of damage, so then I had to reprint it. And this grayish color that you're seeing is a little bit of red wax, and I've got some black and some gray, a little bit of all three of the Focus colors are all mixed together, shuck it very well, and that's where the rest of the colors came from. But it printed really nice. So everything basically comes down to it's based on price, and you got to buy your resin, because yeah, this resin prints perfectly fine, no issues with it whatsoever. So the base came out very nice. Just need a little minor post-processing here and there. It's almost perfect. I just need to go over and see if I see any high spots or really sharp spots that might be from the support, and scratch it off, take a razor blade to it, or just hit it with a fingernail file. And my files of choice are these little files here for nail files. Buy off Amazon, and just setting up little things here and there. So anyway, came out great. So now it's just a matter of getting it primed, and show you what it looks like when I get it all primed up. Here we go. I got Thor all done. He's all primed and ready to go. Now his cape is not glued on, and he's not glued to the base, and then the axe is not glued. That way I'm able to properly paint it, hopefully, before I glue it together. But this figure is all glued up, and yeah, amazing detail. Amazing work by Sanex. It's excellent. Like I mentioned, he has two heads you can print, one with an eye patch, one without. But let's check that out. Amazing detail. And once again, that was printed with my Focus resin. It was printed with some of my red wax, and then I had the gray and the black, and then I wound up doing a lot of mixing at the very end. And always remember, wear your gloves, always wear your proper PPE, always wear safety glasses and gloves when handling resin prints. because even though you may get a little bit on you and you wipe it off and it seems to be no big deal, you never know when over time you may develop an allergic reaction. So in a lot of my videos, I'll grab my build surface, I put it in the vat, I do things with it. I'm being very careful. Very rarely do I ever get any resin on me, but I should always wear it. And somebody made a comment in chat, and yes, always wear your proper protective, your personal protective safety equipment, your PP&E. Wear glass safety gloves, be in a well-ventilated area. And go check out Sanix, buy some Focus resin. And until next time, everybody, happy resin printing. Thank you.